Hey everyone, so today we're going to be talking about what I think is the most important Japanese sword form, and that is Omori Ryu's Junto. So to preface this, I don't actually practice Omori Ryu, I practice Seitei Iaido, and so I may not know the finer details of this form, but I've added it to my regular practice because I think Omori Ryu helps me meditate on the duties of a historical swordsman, and also remember that a sword is a killing tool, and it helps me bring back some of the weight and responsibility that comes with that. And that's something that I was finding was lacking in Seitei Iaido's 12 forms, at least from my perspective. So I've added this to my regular practice, and I may not have the finer details ironed out, but this is how I see it. And if I'm completely wrong, then feel free to comment down below and educate me. So to start with then, Junto is the form for the second in Harakiri. So Harakiri is a form of ritual suicide that in historic Japan, in ancient Japan, then people did it when they did something dishonorable. And so to reclaim their honor, then they would kill themselves. And it's essentially saying, I'm willing to trade my life for my honor back. And so it was seen in very high regard, and it was very well respected. And the way that you commit Harakiri is by cutting open your belly, because Harakiri literally means belly cut. And cutting open your belly is a very slow, painful way to die. It's not clean, it's very messy, and you die by blood loss and infection, with a lot of pain, lots of suffering. The job of the second comes in. So the second is someone who assists in Harakiri, and their job is to cut off the person committing Harakiri's head as soon as they've cut open their belly. And in that way, then you minimize pain, you minimize suffering for the person committing Harakiri. And because of that, then the second is usually someone who's very well trusted by the person committing Harakiri. So if the person committing Harakiri is a master of a sword school, then it would be one of their very advanced, very trusted, very close students. So the first part is silent reverence and respect. So in this time, then the person who's committing Harakiri builds up their resolve, strengthens their mind, and they get ready to commit the act. And in this time, then you need to get ready to deliver that killing blow. And you need to do so with a silent reverence and respect so that you don't distract the person who's committing the act. And you need to let out no killing intent, because you don't want to essentially worry the person who is committing Harakiri. Now, as soon as they cut open their belly, then the second part starts. That's a very quick transition from this silent reverence and respect to a very fast killing blow. And this has to be the greatest killing blow you deliver in your entire life, because your entire job is to minimize the pain and suffering of someone close to you. If you have too much power, you can cause too much pain and suffering. If you have too little power, you're not going to cut through, and you've added more pain and suffering to someone who's already in a lot of pain and suffering. And your entire job was to minimize their pain and suffering. So meditating on this killing blow is really important in my point of view, because I think that it has to be the greatest cut of your entire life. Now, the third part is Zenchin. So Zenchin is mental focus. And in Iaido, then we practice Zenchin at the end of all of our kata, because it's supposed to be that you're ready for another attack. But in Junto, then the scenario is Harakiri. It's a ritual suicide, it's a ceremony. So there wasn't even a first attack. And I think Zenchin here is for a different reason. You're not preparing for a second attack. You are trying to hold in your emotions. You've lost someone who's very close to you, very dear to you, and you need to hold in your emotions until you're in private where you can let them out, because you want to do nothing to tarnish the image of the person who committed Harakiri. So this is how I view Junto, and it helps me meditate on the duties of a historical swordsman, because a historical swordsman had to take lives with their sword, and there's a certain weight that goes with that I think is easily lost in modern times. And if you want to just treat the sword as a training tool that helps you build your muscle, helps you build your form, and you have fun chopping up things in your backyard, and you're not interested in the historical side of it at all, that's also totally fine, because you don't have to train like a historical swordsman. But for those of us who practice Iaido, who practice Koryu, who try to take on the historical ways and build the mindset of historical swordsmen, I think that this is a part of the mindset that you cannot get away without. And so for me then, Seitei Iaido was lacking a form that really helped me understand this mindset and this feel, so I've added Omori Ryu's Junto to my regular practice to help me meditate on that, to help me remember that, to help me focus on the sword as a killing weapon, and to treat it with a little bit more respect and a little bit more weight. So I hope that this was interesting, and I hope you go away and you think about how much weight does your sword have, and how much weight should it have, and for you to meditate on what you think is important in the mindset of a historical swordsman. So with that, I'll see you next time.